Friends, in today's fast life, we get distracted in such a way that we are not able to focus on any one thing. We get easily distracted by social media notifications. We start any task with great enthusiasm, but in the form of a new and shiny thing, we immediately leave it behind. In the continuation of this story of Gautam Buddha, let us know how we got rid of this problem. It was a long time ago. There was an emperor in a village. He had everything under his control. He had immense wealth and good people who took care of him and followed his orders, and he also took great care of his people and never let them feel any shortage of anything, so they had to give it to the emperor to eat. He had everything. There was no shortage of anything, but his mind could never settle for anything. Whenever he tried to do anything, his attention would get distracted by the story. He was very worried about this thing and was relieved many times. He had also met the kings of his neighboring kingdom, and everyone had given him different opinions. Everyone had told him different methods. Whatever methods the emperor had heard about, he implemented those triangles in his life, but he did not get any benefit from those methods, due to which he was always worried, relieved, troubled, relieved. Many times he could not even sleep at night and he would just toss and turn. One day a news reached the emperor's ears that there is such an extraordinary person in his kingdom, whose words are priceless, the secret of life is hidden in the word. The truth of life is hidden, and people come from far and wide to meet him because he solves every person's problem very simply and easily. Hearing this, the emperor was very questioned. He felt that now he would get the answers to his questions. After hearing so much praise, the emperor decided that he would immediately go and meet the person, and he would also know whether the people who are praising him so much is true or not. Early in the morning, the emperor set out to meet him in person. The route was a little long. Yes, the emperor rested a little on the way. Everyone present there knew him in person when the emperor asked them to meet him in person. When asked, they were praising him a lot for being an extraordinary person. Then the emperor thought that it seems that this person is very intelligent, must be very educated, and will be an influential person. Otherwise, everyone would not praise him so much. Surely he must have something like this in the person, because of which everyone knows him and is praising him. Hearing the praise of that person, the emperor's mind became more curious to meet that person. Now the emperor wanted to meet that person as soon as possible. Yes, that person's journey ahead. When the emperor reached the ashram, he did not see anyone in the ashram. There was a small garden behind the ashram. When the emperor reached there, he saw that a gardener was cleaning his entire body in the garden. He was covered with mud and had no slippers on his feet. Seeing this, the emperor said to the gardener, "Listen, sir, where is the owner of this ashram? I have come to meet him." The gardener replied, "Sir, you sit inside. I will call him soon. Malik will meet you." Hearing this, the emperor went inside the hut and sat down and started waiting for the arrival of the extraordinary person. After waiting with some fear, when the extraordinary person arrived in front of the emperor, he saw that it was the same person who was gardening in the garden. The emperor greeted him and said with great surprise, "You are the same gardener who was tending the garden outside," but this time the gardener was standing in the form of a Buddhist monk. Then the Buddhist monk said to the emperor, "The emperor is making fun of me. Sorry, I was just doing a little work in the garden. I am the gardener here, and I am the extraordinary person whom you have come all this way to meet. Please tell me the reason for your coming." On this, the emperor says to those Buddhist monks, "Maharaj, I have heard that there is no person like you in this entire state. I have heard your praises. I have heard many good things about you. I have also heard that whoever comes to you with his problem, you definitely solve his problem. That's why I have come here to meet you today, and I want to listen to you preaching, but my mind has a doubt on this." On this, the emperor says, "I have seen great scholars, great knowledgeable people. You have seen that whenever they walk, they have different types of books of knowledge. There is definitely some sign with them which can show that they are knowledgeable people, but you do not have any books of knowledge, nor are there any signs of such tomorrow visible in you, but despite that, you seem very calm. Can you tell me its secret?" On this, the Buddhist monk started smiling and said to the emperor, "My knowledge is everywhere in the form of nature in this universe. I get my knowledge only from the simple and ordinary things of life. But Maharaj, what problem are you facing here?" Please explain to me the reason for your coming here." On this, Samrat says, "The reason for my coming here is that I have not been concentrating about anything for a long time on this work. I know, I am just afraid of something. I get distracted from my work. Please tell me the solution to my problem. I am very worried about this." The Buddhist monk understood the emperor's concern and said, "Maharaj, I have understood your problem. You are not concentrating on your work, that's why. I can tell you a solution, but today you are a little scared. You will meet me tomorrow morning. The time will be fine tomorrow morning. When you meet me tomorrow morning, I will answer all your questions." Saying this, the Buddhist monk went back to his garden. He turned back and the emperor also went back to his palace, but the emperor could not sleep the whole night. He was just thinking about what the Buddhist monk was going to tell me. He looks like an ordinary gardener to me, but in a good way. His mind was calm. The way he looked calm is very surprising. The emperor remained in these thoughts all night long. Next morning, just before the sun rose, the emperor took him back to the ashram. Buddhist monks were already present there. When the emperor reached there, the Buddhist monk placed a small jug of water in the emperor's hand and said, "Take this and slowly pour water on the plants, and while doing this, there are 15 plants in front of you. You have to do the same on all of them. You have to keep pouring water, but while you are doing this activity, you must keep one thing in mind, that during this time, you should not do anything else, nor should you think about anything, nor should your attention be distracted by the story. If you are watering the plants, then your entire attention should be on these plants only. If in the meantime any thought comes to your mind, then stop there and then again start watering the first plant. And when you listen to me, exactly like this, you will water all these 15 plants, and then you will come to me, and I will answer all your questions." The emperor had never done anything like this till date, and this was a very small thing for the emperor. This was the first time that someone like this had done something like this. He was going to reduce it. He watered the first plant very carefully from the water jug, and then the second plant, and further he watered the second plant very carefully. And then he had just started watering the third plant when his mind felt like various thoughts started arising. He started remembering the garden of his palace where there were different types of flowers and different types of plants. Then suddenly, he remembered the words of those Buddhist monks to the emperor, if his mind had any thoughts. If it is produced, then again he has to start watering the first plant. Immediately, he returns to the first plant, and he again waters the first plant. He again carefully waters the second plant. As soon as he reaches the third plant, he returns to his mind. Again, many types of thoughts started arising. Now I was thinking that I don't know what would be happening in my empire without me. And this time the emperor started getting very angry. He thought, why am I not doing this small work? He immediately again reached near the first plant. This time he watered the first plant very carefully and watered the second plant very carefully. While doing this time the emperor had watered about 5 plants very carefully. But this time, as soon as he started watering the plants, seeing the water, thoughts of a river started forming in the emperor's mind, and the emperor was now very upset. Every time he tried to water the plants, he failed every time. The more distressed his mind became, and the more angry he became at himself. The emperor knew very well that the monks were testing him. He was very intelligent, and hence he considered it necessary to go to obey. No matter how many times the emperor tried, the more he failed, the more distressed his mind became, always finding herself engrossed in some thought or the other. By this time the time had passed from morning to evening, but till now the emperor had not been able to water all the 15 plants. When the Buddhist monks returned to the ashram in the evening, they saw that he was sitting next to the emperor and was busy with various types of buttons. Then the Buddhist monks approached the emperor and started eating. "Emperor, I am very happy with your honesty. You tried your best to do your work with full dedication and devotion, so listen very carefully and understand what I am going to tell you. When our mind becomes empty of thoughts, then her true form is visible. Then even the simplest thing gives us knowledge and peace." On this, the emperor says to those Buddhist monks, "Maharaj, but how is this possible? Whenever I do any work, many kinds of thoughts arise in my mind and I get trapped in those thoughts, and I do not see any way to get out of there." Then the Buddhist monk started smiling and said to the emperor, "Hey emperor, you were not watering the plants. You just wanted to finish your work as soon as possible. The thought was arising in your mind that you should water these 15 plants as soon as possible, and after that you would give me water. So that I can get the answers to my questions, I am relieved to know that for some reason this task seemed like a burden to you, as if I have placed a huge burden on your shoulders, and this is the reason why you did not rock yourself in this sail when it was before us. If the work seems like a burden, then we just want to finish it somehow, and while reducing it, we are not able to give our full attention to the work. But if you could understand the importance of this sail, then you would be able to give importance to its importance and only focus on plants and animals. If you had concentrated on the water, no thoughts would have troubled you. On this, the emperor said, "Yes, Maharaj, I understand what you are saying, that I wanted to finish this work as soon as possible and meet you. Sir, my mind is perfect in this work. Could not sing properly, but this is a sail which we are living. It is very difficult to stay in the sail. Do I have to do any penance for this?" On this, the Buddhist monk started smiling once again and said to the emperor, "Yes, search for a calm mind. You are doing that. Calm mind is already present. She is already within you. For this you do not even need to know the story. Nor do you need to know the story in a calm place. If there is anything necessary for this, then she. Therefore, learn to pay attention to your breath. Try to see and understand how we are inhaling and exhaling. Then you will understand that your calm mind it is made only with the breath. After that, if you want, you can pay attention to your breath even while doing any work. When you are reading a story, running a story, or doing any such work, then you should pay attention to your breath or any activity that keeps you connected to the present. Another way to do this is to observe the nature around you for 4 minutes. See what is going on around you. This will bring you back to the present. Then you can do your work quickly, and just like this. Don't just eliminate it. Try to do it with full devotion to your mind, so that your mind will be concentrated, and when your mind will be concentrated, then no matter what work you do, whether it is small or big, your mind will become completely involved in it, and that work itself will give you peace and knowledge. At such a time, no thoughts of any kind arise in our mind, and when we do this, our actions and deeds become one, and the peace that is within us begins to manifest. It seems that we become engrossed in it. You can choose to enjoy it or live in the present, and you can achieve this state very easily. You just have to practice. Buddhist monks say to the emperor that he is the mind who overcomes difficulties. There is calm relief in me. I do not shy away from difficulties. There is only conscious relief. That mind can overcome every problem, can take me out of every dilemma. The emperor had understood all these things said by those Buddhist monks. He saluted those Buddhist monks, and from there he returned to his palace. He started paying attention to his breathing, and gradually, due to this continuous practice, he used to do every work with concentration and focus, which gave him immense peace, and he was able to do small tasks. Therefore, friends, never consider any work as a burden, because if you consider it a burden, then you will try to take it off from yourself as soon as possible. That is, you will try to finish it as soon as possible. But this effort, whatever work you do during any work, will not be done with full dedication. And in such a situation, whatever work you want to do, you may not be able to do it. And due to this, tension also arises in your mind. We start getting worried and upset because we are not able to achieve the result we wanted to give to the work. And most of us make the same mistakes when any work is assigned to them. Then, they do not do it. Try to do, but they want. They wonder how quickly that work gets finished, and they are not able to keep themselves there while doing it. Rather, their mind is the story, and the only relief due to which our mind starts becoming heavy on us. We see different types of thoughts, and we keep drowning in those thoughts. We go fast in those thoughts, and then we do not see any way to get out of there, due to which stress starts creating in our mind. We start feeling very worried. We cannot do any work even after 6 hours. We are not able to do the work, and we ourselves close the door to the work which could have taken us towards the present, because that work seems like a burden to us. Hence, whenever you want to start any work, before doing it, pay full attention to yourself. Concentrate on your breathing, and then if you want, you can concentrate on your breathing even during your work. And this meditation of breathing will be converted into the meditation of your work, and whatever difficulties are arising in this task. You will entangle this completely. No matter what adverse circumstances come your way, you will continue to complete the task with full dedication and determination. Friends, I hope that you have definitely learned something from today's video. Thank you for joining me on this journey of embracing simplicity and finding the true essence of life. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more thought-provoking content. And please share to one person you love the most. In last, I just want you to say, climb higher, aim higher with a rise aspire.